this week we just made this big announcement of Safeboot in the world of data security. Prior to this, we had a number of products centered around data loss and prevention from an acquisition we did last year of a company called Enigma. And Enigma was our first entree into data protection, and it gave us things like protection of data in motion. So if I emailed out an important document, I had the ability to protect that document from getting in the wrong hands. And that was a technology that we acquired. So it did things like classifying a document or classifying a file folder and then protecting it from regulatory compliance. Now what we've done is we've added the acquisition of Safeboot to begin to do endpoint device control like USB sticks. So you can't copy content off of your machine onto a USB unless you're authorized to do so, as well as file encryption and full disk encryption. So if you lose your mobile phone now, and I happen to leave it in a taxi, the mobile phone itself will be encrypted. And by being encrypted, nobody can turn it on without the key. And if I lose it and I report it back to my IT management, I can eradicate the key and nobody could ever use this phone or find the data on the phone. Pretty powerful feature. The technology also has capabilities like wipe and lock features. So I could remotely execute a wipe of this machine, and I could wipe the SIM disk off of here, as well as lock it, so only authorized people could access the encryption on the mobile phone. So we've got a number of technologies that came from Safeboot to allow encryption and endpoint device control to help enable better and more secure environments for mobile and laptop usage. So this has been pretty strategic for us to do, and the combination really helps us. And then of course another area is called digital rights management. This is the area of encryption plus the ability to control a policy around who can see the data if in fact I was to email it out or distribute a piece of content to somebody. So if you wrote an article on the interview here with McAfee, who can see it and how long can you see it for? So it's good for 30 days and the world can see it. Or it's good for 30 days and only the Japan market can see it. And then it expires the policy and ultimately the content's rendered useless. So the ability to have these capabilities all in one suite gives us a pretty comprehensive data protection strategy. Safeboot is a very international company. The company is essentially headquartered out of the Netherlands, but has been able to introduce the technology in a number of languages. 22 languages are supported, or I think 21 languages are supported, and in Japanese, Korean. It's also in all the Latin 8 languages, the European languages. So very nice technology. I think we have more than 1,000 customers in Japan already, and the company has 4,200 customers worldwide and has been growing quite successfully. So we like the concept of creating a whole approach to data encryption and data protection, and really offering McAfee a full suite here to grow. The Safeboot acquisition was a key move for us to really help drive into these compliance areas for data privacy. So interesting opportunity, if you can see, you want to know probably why I did this acquisition, was the vectors of encryption are coming at it from a lot of ways. Microsoft with BitLocker, or Seagate with encryption, other disk manufacturers like Hitachi, Fujitsu, all coming out with embedded disk encryption. The type of technology that we acquired with Safeboot is the management of encryption as well as the encryption itself. So if you look and understand the technology, the primary intellectual property of Safeboot is the key management architecture of the product. So this is the ability to distribute keys to encryption. So if I lost my mobile phone, I could call up the mobile operator and say, can you give me a key to unlock it? I found it. Or, I lost it and I lost it for good. Could you eliminate the key? We have the key management architecture that could work with anyone's encryption. Seagate, Hitachi, BitLocker, competitors. So Safeboot for us, the intellectual property was largely centered around its architecture and its agnostic ability to integrate with lots of encryption vendors. Because over time, encryption's been around for 2 decades. And over time, it'll become more commoditized into hardware. But that creates more of an opportunity for Safeboot and McAfee because we want to be the architecture that manages all of that. So HP starts shipping, and a large partner of Safeboot is HP. They're going to ship well over 10 million machines this coming year with encryption on it. Dell's working with Seagate and shipping encryption with Seagate. Now you have all these machines out there. How do you manage them? How might you manage the key infrastructure and the reporting of the loss of data? So reporting and management become critical to this problem. And if it wasn't for all the proliferation of encryption, it would still be a little bit of the same old encryption problem. And that's encouraging to me. That's how I looked at it. They have 3 consumer products already that they've built. They just couldn't execute on them because they were too small. So they have literally a mobile encryption technology that the mobile operators could distribute as well as embed. They have a PC product that's a shrink wrap product that could be put in stores through retail outlets for encryption. They also ship USB encrypted devices, so when you go and buy a little USB, it will become automatically encrypted, and they have that technology.
But do you see that integrated in one of the McAfee suites?
Todd, we'll have a lot of integrations with the consumer products, and we'll leverage into the triple play. I thought that most of the analysts have complimented us on a very frugal purchase because we actually paid at a considerable less multiple than PointSec. Protect Data was acquired by Checkpoint. So if you look at the revenue multiples as well as the EBITDA multiples, we paid less than that of PointSec being acquired by Checkpoint, which was a direct competitor. So we had a little better transaction there. Safeboot was going public. They were literally ready to go public next week. So obviously they were very strong, both operating margin and revenue growth. And most of the analysts' papers was that we had a good transaction. It's very scalable for us, accretive to both top and bottom line. So, some people think we pay too much, especially when you see a number of $350 million. It sounds like a lot, but hopefully we'll get a lot of return out of it.